Hello, welcome to Fix It Friday. What a day. Let's just see if anyone joins us on Instagram. If you join on Facebook, LinkedIn, etc., then remember to give StreetYard your permission to show your name so I know who's interacting. And if you're on the replay, hashtag replay. How's your Friday been? Mine's been a bit manic, I'm not going to lie. A bit on the hop. Just finished with my last client and coming on to give you guys value too. So bringing to you all the questions you've come to me with during this week around nutrition, female health, and alcohol. I'm going to say alcohol because last Friday it was alcohol theme. Alcohol, fitness, health, hormones, all those good things. Anything that you want to cover off, discuss, questions that you've dropped in. All right, it's a Friday night, so let's crack on with it. Okay, first question here. How many calories should I consume per day? Okay, so this is a very individualized question. Now, the amount of calories you eat per day depends. And you're like, it depends. If anyone's telling you eat 1,200, eat 800, and have not found out anything about you, walk away. These are all influencers. The influencers who tell you to eat X amount to get the skinny waist, eat X amount to bulk the muscle, whatever it may be. Don't listen to the influencers. What you need to do in terms of stats is look at your age, your height, your current weight, your activity levels. So how busy are you? How many steps are you doing? How many workouts are you doing? What does it look like in terms of your overall goals? So are you looking to gain muscle? Are you looking to maintain weight? Are you looking to lose weight? So all of those are factors into how many calories you should be eating a day. And I say age, height, weight is the main ones. And then it's about how much your calories, like sitting here, we're burning calories, right? Doing nothing, we're burning calories. And then when we eat, there's a thermal effect of food to take into account too. So when we're eating, we're actually burning calories by digesting our food, which is the thermal effect of food. So there's a sitting doing nothing calories, there's a eating thermal effect of food, and then there's your activity on top of that. Now, don't get too excited. If you're like, score, I'll do loads of steps, I'll do loads of walking, I'm going to be able to have loads of calories. Actually, the main calories you have is while you're sitting doing nothing. That's right. Think about it. Heart's still beating, lungs are still working, all the vital organs, everything the body does that we don't think about requires calories. And like I say, digesting food requires calories. If you've had an operation recently, healing the body requires calories. Something nobody told me when my leg had broken, that actually my body would need more calories to heal. Absolutely makes sense. Nobody told me that, which was why I was told by my wedding dress people to eat donuts because I'd lost so much weight during that period of time with a broken leg and ankle. Nobody tells you that. So the short answer is it depends. It depends on your age, your weight, your height, your activity levels, and what your goal is. And remember, if it's around weight loss, then you're looking at 1 to 2 pounds a week is the sensible weight loss and the safe limits of weight loss, and that will drop and it will go up. So there'll be peaks and flows and troughs around weight loss, but the safe limit is like 0.5%. 1 to 2 pounds a week is the safe limit. But like I say, it depends on you as an individual. Okay, next up, let's see what the next question is. What are the best sources of protein? So for me, I live off chicken. I eat a lot of chicken. So white meat versus red meat. I was reading, don't get me wrong, I still have steak, I still have burger every now and then. And I was reading today, it was actually came from Cancer Research, I think the email was, about the processed meats. So like your hams, your salamis, your hot dogs. And I think it was about a 16% increase in the likelihood of cancer having eaten those processed meats. And the thought around that is to do with the packaging and how they package the meats and the chemicals they use within that to preserve the meats and stop the colours going off are thought to have a reaction within the bowel, in the gut. So they were specifically talking about bowel cancer. So they are even more on about reducing your processed meats. I personally I never really buy like the slices of chicken breast or any of these kind of packs of hams and stuff. One, I think they're super expensive for what you get. You're never going to be full eating these things. You probably have to have a whole pack to actually get full. So I prefer to cook, like poach a whole chicken breast, poaching that, cooking that, and that fuels me. So in terms of what's best for me, chicken is my go-to. That's my personal preference. And then you've got your fish, obviously. I'm not a big fish fan. There are some fishes I like. I do like monkfish. However, monkfish It sits at the bottom of the sea, so a lot of heavy chemicals around there. So you don't want to be having too much monkfish because the chances are, with our seas being so polluted, you're going to be eating a lot of heavy chemicals. So you don't want to be having too much of the monkfish. Plus, it's super expensive. But yeah, other white fishes I never go to for me. So just think fish, think chicken. Again, you can have a bit of red meat, but again, maybe not more than twice a week is the kind of thing guidance they give you now. And then if you're vegan, vegetarian, then we want to be hitting up the eggs. You know, I'm a fan of eggs. Hitting up the eggs for the protein. If you're vegan, it's going to be the beans and pulses. And if you're vegan, you're more than likely probably have to take some protein powders to help get your protein levels up. So again, it's a bit of a depend question. But for me, it's about the chicken, the eggs, the fish. You can hit up the red meats. And then you've got your beans, your pulses. But again, the amount of beans and pulses you have is quite a lot if you're vegan. And we tend to find that vegans eat a lot of those beans and pulses. And that's how they end up getting more calories in than they burn and put weight on. And Lara Bryden will say that she's never worked with someone over 2 years of who's been a vegan where it's actually benefited them long term. I know vegans will dispute that, but in my opinion, when I've worked with vegans, they've struggled a lot with digesting food and whole foods because their body's switched off from it. So for me, it's about whole diet and protein. It's about all the different types of protein. So as much as I'll have chicken, I'll also have beans and pulses. If I happen to be having like chili con carne or whatever, I don't omit anything from my diet other than what I don't like. And yes, I do avoid things like processed meats, hot dogs, salamis, cold meats. One, because they don't fill me, and two, I don't really enjoy them. And three, the evidence is coming out about eating even less than these things like bacon roll. People, so many vegetarians eat bacon rolls. It's unreal. But yeah, bacon rolls is always one of the things where vegans and vegetarians go, I don't eat meat, but I don't mind a bacon roll. I personally don't get the obsession with bacon rolls. I will have one and I will still be starving. It's like, it doesn't fill me up. So yeah, again, it's about what you enjoy. There's no such thing as best. It's about what you enjoy, and it's more about getting protein in the morning to help stop the stacking in the night. Alrighty, what else do we have? Is it better to eat small meals throughout the day or 3 large meals? So this one, again, some people find, especially as they get older, as we age, they find that smaller meals works better for them than the traditional 3 large meals. Now, when I work with clients, depending on the amount of calories you have, some clients are on 4 meals a day, some are 5 meals a day, and depending where you are with your weight, some of them can eat a lot of food, and that can mean that squeezing that into 3 meals is going to be a push. And I never say stuff yourself, never stuff yourself. So I give them food for the whole day, and then they can break that up however they like. So for me personally, do I have the traditional breakfast, lunch, dinner? Yes and no. I kind of have 2 breakfasts probably. I probably have a lunch, a mid-lunch, a dinner, and then probably a snack later on because I do a lot of activity. So for me, it's about what works for you. So if the traditional breakfast, lunch, dinner works for you and you're not snacking in between, cool. If you find that actually you are snacking in between, then maybe actually for you is breaking it up and having the smaller meals and making that work. But just be cautious on the smaller meals because a lot of people get caught out with having smaller meals thinking it's less calories, and then they end up snacking on the biscuits and the crisps and the so forth in between, because they're like trying to tell themselves, oh, I'll lose weight if I have smaller meals. So I'd say, what's your motivation around having the smaller meals? Is it to have less calories? Then I would say maybe not. Just watch on what you're snacking in between because you're hungry and not fueling your body enough. But if it's more because actually the traditional breakfast, lunch, dinner times don't work for you, then have smaller meals. And that's another point because I have lunch. Sometimes I have lunch at 10:30 in the morning. I've got a client who's been working with me at the moment, and she came back saying that she's been having lunch about 11:30ish. And it is that thing about break the tradition of the breakfast is this time, lunch. If you're hungry, have your meal. Don't wait till you're starving because then you're more likely to overeat and keep snacking later on. So my answer is, if it's for weight loss, then just be wary if you're snacking in between those smaller plates of food. I think I done a reel on that actually not long ago. And if it's because you're just not hungry at those times or you're starving beforehand, create your own meal times. Don't be tuned into societal bullshit rules around what is mealtime and what's not. Alrighty, next question. Are there any foods I should avoid to maintain a healthy diet? Ultimately, like I said, I wouldn't avoid any foods in terms of maintaining a healthy diet. If there's something you know that you can't stop eating. For example, if I have crisps in my house, I'm going to eat them. They're all going to be gone. If I have biscuits in the house, not bothered by them. But for some people, having biscuits and chocolate in the house is their go-to, and they can't have one, they'll eat the whole lot. It's like, you give me a grab bag, I ain't sharing that with no one. It's mine, right? So it's about saying, what are your triggers and what are the things that you overindulge on? And if you can be more positive around it. So say ice cream is your thingy, you'll have a big bowl of ice cream. Then look at having some fruit and reducing the portion of ice cream. Now, if you feel you don't have that control to reduce the portion, you'll eat the whole tub of ice cream and sod the fruit, then don't have the ice cream in your house. So I'd say it's the thing is about what are your triggers, what are the things that you crave, and once you start eating them, that is you. You're going to keep going until it's done. We've all got those things, no matter what people say, we've all got those things. So it's really not about foods to avoid. It's more about foods that mean it throws your healthy eating out the window. And then you just go all in. Another one tends to be fizzy drinks, right? Especially the diet ones. Our body can't digest all these processed chemicals and stevias and things, and it's thought to actually be causing quite a lot of bloating and IBS type symptoms in people. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of IBS happening. So it's that whole thing around actually fizzy drinks can often be once you get on the Diet Cokes. I've seen so many people addicted to these drinks on the Diet Cokes. I know for me, Coke's a trigger, and I have to again wean myself off the Coca-Cola full sugar. But I don't have too much of it, and I managed to able to wean myself off it. And I'll look for other alternatives like ginger beer, fuel sugar, things that help me wean off the fizzy drinks. But it's that whole thing about going, what are your triggers? Because for a lot of clients who have the diet drinks, they'll then go on to have a big bar of chocolate. It's like the gateway. It's almost like a gateway. It's the same. I've got clients who have Costa coffee and stuff. And I also say that Costa coffee is like a gateway to the cakes, the biscuits. It's almost giving yourself that permission. Oh, well, I've had a coffee, I'll have a cake with it. And then you go, sod it, I've had that. Might as well just go for it. So what are the things that are going to stop you from eating healthy, that you're going to binge on, that are going to take you off your healthy eating, and things that you can't stop at one or two of them? Portion controls out the window, you're having all of that. So think about more about what are the foods that take you away from that. And if you're like, I'm super good, I'm super controlled, I was just wondering what foods aren't that healthy, as I just mentioned, things around processed meats. There's something to look to omit from your diet and not have them. One, because they don't fuel you, and two, the research around bowel cancer that's coming out around those. So there's something I would avoid, which obviously isn't always possible, but certainly try to minimize those. All right, we've got time for one more. Da-da-da. What will it be? Let me just have a look. Da-da-da. What are the benefits of eating fruit and veg? All right, so I guess this is like, people have been said for so long, right? Have 5 a day. We've been said, it's been told 5 a day. And I've seen a little funny sign with all the kind of issues in the UK with the supplies, supply chain, and someone had taken it out and done like 3 a day. But ultimately, the benefits of fruit and veg is about the micronutrients, as we call them. So your macros is your protein, your carbs, your fats, and your micronutrients is all your vitamins, your minerals, and that's where really your micronutrients are. And getting a whole host of different colors in your diet is what's going to help you get the micronutrients that are essential for lots of our body processes. So we often hear about vitamin C, right? For colds and flu, vitamin D for depression with the lack of sunlight. So these affect a lot of processes and moods within our body, and quite a lot of our micronutrients need one and another to work. And we can get lots of these from our foods. But we also struggle now to get them from our foods because of the soil degradation, food not being as quality as what it used to be with our ancestors or grandparents. So now that's why we have to look at, vitamin supplementation. Again, I think I've covered that on another one, but I can cover it again if you want. But on this actual question about what are the benefits, it's also not just the micronutrients and the biological processes within your body. It's also about, it will fuel you for longer and hydrate you too. Fruit, veg, have got loads of water in them. So if you're not great at drinking your water, then it's going to help hydrate your body. But also that fullness, that feeling of being fuller for longer, because it's going to bulk out and fill you up. So it's going to stop you snacking on other stuff and keep you full. So if you think about your protein and then having your veg, it's going to fill you up, satisfy you. All those colors on the plate, right? We eat with our eyes. All those colors pop in on your plate, making the food more interesting. When you have a plate of beige food, you're going to start seeking something else. You might even get a bit bored eating it and then not finishing eating it. So it's that whole thing about thinking about how those colors pop on the plate, how much more you're going to enjoy the meal, how it's going to keep you fuller for longer. And then on top of that, all those micronutrients are only going to do good things for your body. So that's why, and hydration too. So there's so many reasons for fruit and veg. And if you're like, I don't like them, you don't have to eat the ones you don't like. I can't have apple and oranges, they give me migraines, so I don't eat them. But there's plenty of other fruits out there. Same with veg. I don't like salad. I hate the texture of salad. I've never eaten salad in all my life. I can't physically eat salad, but there's lots of ways that I get veg in through different ways, through bolognese, through stir fries, whatever you name it, as long as it's soft. Fajitas, you name it. You can get them in lots of different ways. So there's no excuse not to. So yeah, so many benefits to fruit and veg. All right, team, Fix It Friday. That's your questions for this week. Remember, pop in more questions for next week. We'll be here every Friday evening. Take care. Have an epic weekend. And yeah, let me know how your week's going. Let me know what you got planned for your weekend and enjoy.